Have you ever wondered what it was like to be a Black woman during the era of slavery, invisible and unheard? Imagine being plucked from your homeland, from everything you've ever known, and thrust into a world where you're not a person, but a possession. Picture this. You're a woman of strength, of spirit, of resilience from the vibrant lands of Africa. One day you find yourself shackled, confined, and crossing the Atlantic's tumultuous waves. The journey is treacherous and the destination unknown. You're taken to a new land, a foreign land, where the sun's rays are harsh, the ground unyielding, and the faces unfamiliar. You're not welcomed as a guest, but rather, treated as property. You're forced into labor, into a life of servitude, your voice silenced, your identity stripped away. But you, the Black woman, you're made of something stronger. Your spirit, it's unbreakable. You endure, you adapt, you fight. In the cotton fields, amidst the sweltering heat and back-breaking labor, you find your strength. In the hushed whispers and the shared stories under the blanket of the night sky, you find your voice. In the songs you sing, the rhythms you create, and the dances you perform, you find your identity. Despite the chains of slavery, you manage to carve out a space for yourself. You mother your children, love your family, and support your community. You pass down your wisdom, your culture, your heritage, and in doing so, you preserve your identity, your femininity, your essence. You see, being a Black woman during the era of slavery was not about being invisible or unheard. It was about endurance. It was about resilience. It was about strength. It was about the spirit of a woman who, despite being uprooted from her homeland and forced into a life of servitude, refused to be broken. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of the Black woman during the era of slavery. It's a story of resilience. It's a story of strength. It's a story of unbroken spirit. And it's a story that continues to unfold even today in the year 2023. Can you imagine the first breath of freedom, the exhilaration, the fear, the uncertainty? Picture the moment when chains were no longer a physical burden, but a memory that would forever shape the course of history. As the dawn of freedom broke, Black women found themselves walking into a world that was unfamiliar and in many ways unwelcoming. They were no longer bound by the shackles of slavery, but they were yet to be truly free. The societal barriers were still in place, and they had to navigate through a maze of discrimination and prejudice. Yet they held their heads high, their hearts filled with the determination to build a life for themselves and their families. Let's not forget, these were women who had been deemed as property, their identities stripped away and replaced with a label of servitude. But with the dawn of freedom, they began to reclaim their identities. They began to redefine what it meant to be a Black woman in a society that had tried to silence them. Imagine the courage it took to stand up and demand respect when all that was offered was contempt. Imagine the strength it took to strive for a better future when the present was filled with countless obstacles. But they persevered, for they knew they were not just fighting for themselves, but for generations yet unborn. They became teachers, nurses, business owners. They built communities, they nurtured families. They became the backbone of a society that had once deemed them unworthy. They showed the world that they were more than what they had been reduced to. They were not just survivors, they were warriors. But their journey was not an easy one. Every step they took towards freedom was a battle. Every victory, a testament to their resilience. They had to fight for their right to vote, their right to education, their right to exist as equals in a society that was reluctant to see them as such. They were free, but the journey had just begun. This was just the dawn of a struggle that would continue for decades, a struggle that Black women today continue to fight. But it was also the dawn of a new era, an era where Black women began to rewrite their story on their own terms. How has the media sculpted the identity and femininity of Black women? As we journey further into the story of the Black woman, we find ourselves in the realm of media and pop culture. These platforms, while capable of amplifying voices, have often been a double-edged sword for Black women. In the past, Black women have been subjected to a myriad of stereotypes and reckless portrayals in the media. From the sassy sidekick to the angry Black woman, these caricatures have done more harm than good. They've painted a one-dimensional picture that neither captures the depth nor the diversity of Black womanhood. This misrepresentation has not only affected how Black women are perceived by others, but also how they perceive themselves. It has even, unfortunately, encouraged feuds within the Black community, as women grapple with these imposed identities. But Black women are not passive spectators in this narrative. They've been actively pushing back against these stereotypes, fighting to reclaim their image and to paint a fuller, more authentic picture of their identities and femininity. They've used every tool at their disposal, from books to blogs, movies to music, social media to the spoken word. And their efforts are bearing fruit. We're seeing a shift in the media landscape. We're seeing Black women portrayed as they are, complex, diverse, powerful, and beautiful. We're seeing Black women in leading roles as creators, as influencers, and as decision makers. We're seeing the narrative being rewritten, one story at a time. Yet, the battle is far from over. The media still has a long way to go in providing fair and balanced representation. Black women are still fighting to ensure their voices are heard, their stories are told, and their identities are respected. So, as we delve deeper into this narrative, let's remember that the story of Black women is not just a tale of struggle, but also one of resilience, resistance, and reclamation. The battle for representation continues. What does it mean to be soft yet strong, to be feminine yet fierce? We've all heard the old adage, the Black woman is the backbone of society, the pillar of strength that never wavers. But have we ever paused to consider the weight of this expectation? In recent years, Black women have embarked on a journey to redefine femininity in their own unique way. This journey is not about discarding strength or resilience, but rather embracing vulnerability, tenderness, and softness as integral parts of their identity. For long, softness was seen as a weakness, a trait to be hidden away. But today, Black women are challenging this narrative, embracing their softness and wearing it as a badge of honor. They are showing the world that there is strength in vulnerability, power in tenderness, and courage in compassion. This evolution of softness is not just about personal growth, it's about community healing. It's about breaking down the barriers of stereotypes and reckless portrayals that have long fueled feuds within the community. It's about fostering a culture of empathy, understanding, and acceptance. And let's not forget the impact this evolution has had on pop culture. From music to fashion, from literature to film, Black women's embrace of their unique femininity has inspired a wave of change. We see it in the soulful melodies of blues and jazz, in the vibrant colors and patterns of Afrocentric fashion, in the powerful narratives of Black female authors, and in the compelling performances of Black actresses on screen. This evolution is not a trend, it's a revolution. A revolution of Black women reclaiming their narrative, embracing their full spectrum of emotions, and redefining what it means to be feminine. So let's celebrate this evolution of softness. Let's celebrate the strength in vulnerability, the courage in compassion, and the power in tenderness. Let's celebrate the Black women who are, day by day, redefining femininity on their own terms. Did you know that Black women have been pioneers in spirituality, healing, and beauty for centuries? They've been the heart and soul of communities, the ones who've held families together, the ones who've healed wounds both seen and unseen. Black women have been spiritual leaders, guiding their communities through the complexities of life. They've fostered a deep sense of faith and resilience, often in the face of overwhelming adversity. Their spirituality is a testament to their strength, their wisdom, and their capacity for love. It's a spirituality that is deeply rooted in their African heritage, one that recognizes the interconnectedness of all things, the sacredness of every life. In the realm of healing, Black women have been the backbone of countless communities. They've been midwives, herbalists, nurses, doctors, therapists, and so much more. They've carried the wisdom of generations, the knowledge of healing herbs and natural remedies, the understanding of the human spirit. They've provided comfort and care, often being the first and last line of defense against illness and disease. And then there's beauty. Oh, the beauty of Black women. It's not just physical, though that is undeniably breathtaking. It's the beauty of their spirit, their resilience, their courage, their wisdom. It's the beauty of their laughter, their joy, their strength. It's the beauty that shines from within, illuminating everything around them. Black women have redefined beauty standards, embracing their natural hair, their unique body shapes, their rich skin tones. They've shown the world that beauty is diverse, that it is inclusive, that it is empowering. And let's not forget the humor. The laughter of Black women is a balm, a healing force, a testament to their ability to find joy in the midst of struggle. It's a laughter that is contagious, that lifts spirits, that brings people together. So when we talk about spirituality, healing, and beauty, remember this. Black women have been, and continue to be, pioneers in these fields. Their influence is far-reaching, their contributions invaluable. Their impact is as diverse and profound as they are. So, where do Black women stand today in 2023? In the light of the present day, Black women are standing tall, thriving, and making their mark. They are CEOs, artists, scientists, mothers, and leaders, carving their own paths in the world. Despite the scars of the past and the ongoing struggles, they continue to rise, their spirit unyielding and their resilience unwavering. The world of 2023 sees Black women owning their narrative, breaking barriers, and setting new standards. They are redefining beauty norms and amplifying their voices, not just for themselves, but for the generations to come. They are writing books, directing movies, crafting policies, and leading movements that are reshaping the world. But let's not forget, the journey is far from over. The fight against stereotypes and bias continues. The media still has a long way to go in representing the diversity and complexity of Black femininity. But the will to push for change, to challenge the status quo, is stronger than ever. And the unity, oh, the unity. Black women are standing up for each other, supporting each other, and celebrating each other's success. They are breaking down the walls of division and building bridges of sisterhood. They are dispelling the myth of feuds and rivalries and showing the world the power of solidarity. The new evolution of femininity? It's here, it's now. It's a Black woman embracing her softness and strength, her vulnerabilities and her power. It's her defining what it means to be a woman, what it means to be Black, and what it means to be herself. And let's not forget the impact on spirituality, healing, and beauty. Black women are leading in these spaces too, offering wisdom and insights that have the power to heal and transform. They are guardians of ancient traditions and pioneers of new ways of thinking, living, and being. So where do Black women stand today in 2023? They stand at the forefront of change, at the heart of communities, at the helm of progress. In every era, through every challenge, the strength and resilience of Black women have remained a beacon of hope and inspiration.